Enough to knock me out, but I'm still holding the throne.
Hello YouTube. First of all, I'm glad to be back, and I apologize for everybody I haven't been able to post in the past week because of that strike. But anyway, I was watching some of Adam's videos, and I wanted it got me thinking about some things that happened. He did a couple videos on the dumbest cellmates he ever had. I'm going to tell two stories here. One of them's not my cellmate. It wasn't my cellmate. And one of them was. I'll save the dumbest one for last. The first one was my cellmate. A young guy named, what was his name? I think it was Chris. But anyway, we weren't cellies very long, but he always called everybody that he liked dirty. And he was in prison. I did a video on him on this. He was in prison for stealing IROC cars. I mean, he wasn't in prison for that. That's what he did. He actually came to prison for burglary. He broke into his girlfriend's house and stole their parents' safe. He was trying to break it open. But the dumb part was he decides to write his girlfriend a letter, who's mad at him at this time anyway, and tell her to speak good on him at the parole hearing. Well, she writes back and tells him that she wasn't going to do that. He goes, I'm going to tell her that she has to do that. I said, don't write her a letter like that. She'll bring that to the parole board. He goes, no, she won't. And so he writes this letter to her against what I was saying, you know. It's his business. And sure enough, when he went up for parole, she brought the letter up to her, and it was almost a threatening letter. Just like on the verge. And of course he was denied. But he probably would have been anyway. But that's beside the point. So, but he was a good dude. I mean, we got along fine and everything. But other than that, that one incident where he wrote his girlfriend telling her she has to go to the parole board and speak good about him. You don't write letters like that telling somebody they have to do something, especially when it concerns the parole board. The second guy, me and my cellie, the one I was just talking about, were working in the kitchen. And at break time, I told you before in the video, we sat down at the tables, you know, and talk. And this guy comes over and he's talking to us, and we'd worked with him, but we really didn't know him. And so we're telling each other about our cases, you know, what we was in there for. And of course, my cellie was telling him he has to brag about stealing the IROC cars. That's what he did. I mean, he loved telling people about that. And something about this guy that came over and was talking to us didn't seem right with me, you know. And so I asked him, I said, hey man, what are you in here for? And I was hoping I wouldn't hear nothing crazy, you know, one of those messed up cases, and it wasn't. But it was messed up. He lived in this neighborhood where there's row of houses on each side of the street, you know, and like cookie cut, they're all the same. And that apparently those houses hadn't been up there too long, you know, a few years maybe. So he decides one night that he's going to go to his neighbor's house, go in through the window, and burglarize it. Take everything out of it, that he wanted, and then sell it. So he opens the window, crawls in, and a guy meets him with a gun, and he's busted, And I said, so he turned you in to the police? He goes, he was the police. I said, it gets worse than this, guys. Not only was the guy he was trying to break into, not only was that guy, the owner of that house, a police officer, this guy's dad, that was in, the guy I'm talking about that was in prison, his dad was a police officer. Not only that, that whole row of houses, mostly police officers or people who worked with crime and stuff, Not all of them, but the majority of them. I was just looking at him with his jaw dropped, like, what? You tried to break into a house that was owned by a police officer on a street full of police officers, and he said, yeah, and the guy says, man, Marcelli tells him, he says, what were you thinking? He goes, I was thinking I was going to steal the stuff and sell it. He goes, so what did your dad think about you doing this? He goes, oh, he's ashamed and embarrassed. And Marcelli, he still has this, by this time I've done got over the shock. I'm just looking at this guy and listening. But Marcelli still, he'd look at that guy and he'd look at me like, am I hearing this? Is this? And he goes, well, yeah, your dad's embarrassed. Why, you think he shouldn't be? So he tells Marcelli, he goes, you stole Iraq cars. And you said one of the cars you stole was a police officer's car. He goes, yeah, but I didn't, it wasn't like it was at the police station or at a cop's house or anything. And he goes, but what's the difference? And he goes, you burglarized a house too. He said, I didn't burglarize a cop's house. And so they went back and forth like this for a little bit. Both were done, You're in prison for doing a crime, this includes me. It's stupid, You're going to get caught. Majority of the time you will get caught. Although Marcelli never did get caught stealing the Iraq car. But they went back and forth, and they was almost arguing. He goes, Marcelli said, I would never, especially if I lived next door to the guy, try to break into a cop's house. And he goes, but you stole a cop's car. He goes, yes, I did steal a cop's car. He goes, but it wasn't in front of the police station. It wasn't in front of the guy's house. It was left running, and I got in and just took off. And he said, took it to the shop, and we stripped it down and changed it. He goes, you burglarized your girlfriend's parents. Marcelli said, okay, that was dumb of me. He goes, no, I'm not talking about that. You burglarized somebody just as if I was burglarizing somebody, trying to. He goes, yeah, but the difference is it wasn't a cop. This guy could not get over the fact that he considers all burglaries the same, whether it's a cop, a normal person. And my Sally was trying to tell him it's who you burglarize. He goes, yeah. He goes, I got caught breaking into my parents' house and stealing the safe, but he goes, I got away, and I got out of the house. I didn't go in there and get met with a gun by a police officer. And but these two argued back and forth over this for a long time. But what do you guys think about trying to break into a cop's house? Just let me know in the comments. And thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.